after.
What up, Dynasty players in the house? It's the Dynasty front office. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman. We are live from the Dynasty Warzone Network. I'm here with all my co-hosts. We're going to have a good time. We're going back to the old days. First, let's bring in the auspicious Austin Bell. How you doing tonight, Austin?
What's up, man? I'm first. I'm doing good. How are you?
Wow, I realize that.
I'll take it. At least I'm here.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate that you always ask. Nobody else asks.
I'm from the South. What do you expect?
Yeah, you're polite guy.
A little bit of decency here and there.
Right on. And on the other end of that spectrum, my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm good, man. How awkward would it be if we just all started asking, though? Right? Like,
you really should.
It's three different people. It's just going to make it weird. So I figured I would
it's true.
I would do the kind thing and not ask.
Oh, yeah. But y'all are both in Texas, so really, like, the Southern hospitality should come to y'all. You know, so I kind of think we should all ask him one week.
Chad's from New York.
Oh, yeah, but he lives in Texas. It's got to rub off.
Mike's from Colorado.
Colorado.
The former professor, former major, Mike Casper, civilian Mike Casper. How you doing?
Hey, still a major, going in the reserves, not out of the Army yet.
Okay.
Long process to go, but I'm doing great. I'm sorry I'm coming to you live from GameStop. So, yeah, Pokemon Nerds Unite. So, new set drops tomorrow. So, camping out with my son all night and a couple buddies, so it'll be a good time.
I don't know about that. All I see is Mattress Firm in the background. So, camping out at Mattress Firm.
Yeah. Ladies, yeah.
The new Serta mattresses are coming out tomorrow.
Race car bed for the kid.
Speaking of Mattress Firm, that has to be a front. You can't tell me there are like 25 of them in every big city. There's no way that many people need mattresses. Got to be a front. The mafia, the mob, cartels, and somebody has to be fronting that.
Spent thousands of dollars on mattresses in the last 2 years. So
I've spent zero.
Yeah.
But it's not just that, but like I haven't heard of anybody going to a mattress firm to buy a mattress. They just buy a online big box mattress brand.
Yeah, we bought them from Costco.
See, that's my point.
Salesmen in those stores. We actually did go to one store, and my wife started to have a panic attack and had to leave. The salesmen are very pushy.
That's because they're on cocaine because they're sniffing a product in the back.
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
We're a children's show.
Yeah, we're starting our new true crime podcast next week. Mattress Firm. All right, so Mike, you're standing in line for what now, Mike? The new set of Pokemon is Destined Rivals.
Yes.
Destined Rivals, right?
Destined Rivals, right? GameStop, they drop in some packs, and
what are you hoping
Son and I are collectors.
What time is it?
It is 9:03 Central Time. And they don't
what time do they open?
For 13 hours.
My man.
You guys are nuts. You guys are insane.
Where are you guys going to use the bathroom? Where's the facility?
So I have a vehicle, and
in the car.
But you have to wait in line.
Yeah. Well, my son's here, so
you're going to
leave him.
8-year-old son?
Yeah, I'm going to leave him to go to the bathroom. No, I'm just kidding.
It's pure dedication. Man. I like it.
I didn't think about it, but there are lots of trees around here, so I think we're good.
You didn't think about it.
You just ate
cops aren't coming by.
The first thing I thought about.
I'm not gonna have to take a dump. I'll be fine.
Do you guys have sleeping bags and s'mores and stuff?
We don't have sleeping bags, but I did set up the back of my car so he could sleep in the back and stuff.
Oh, he could sleep. Okay, cool. He has
put tons of blankets and like when was did you guys ever as kids wait in line for anything?
No,
we just
my last one was
releases.
Yeah, mine was episode 1. I waited in line for 9 or 10 hours, and we were the front of the line, and we got front of the local newspaper in a really small town.
Wow. So, Star Wars episode 1?
Yeah, Star Wars episode 1. When that come out, 1999 or whatever it was. Or early 2000s. I don't remember. But
I honestly feel bad for myself. There's nothing on this earth that I like enough to sit in line for 13 hours. If I drive by something that I want and I see the line is 10 minutes long, I'm going to skip it.
We didn't go to Chick-fil-A tonight because the line was like 8 or 10 cars, and I was like, nope. We'll just go somewhere else.
And that's like the fastest line in the world.
I never have Chick-fil-A because the line is always too long.
Yep. So,
but like Chick-fil-A, you can divide the time by like 4 because they're just so fast. They're so fast. Like if you, I mean, obviously you guys aren't in Texas, but if you go to like a Whataburger and there's 3 cars, that's like the equivalent to like 20 Chick-fil-A cars.
Oh, speaking of, we're getting a Whataburger in our town.
Oh, nice. Yeah, don't let the 3 cars fool you.
Okay.
That's a 30-minute wait.
It needs to be empty.
Okay. It does take forever. It is not Chick-fil-A, but sometimes it's worth it, especially if you got late time munchies.
All right. So before we get into, we're going to go back to our roots a little bit, and we're going to fix some Dynasty rosters, or just at least answer some questions for some of our most loyal listeners on some questions they had on their rosters. But Mike, before we do that, I need to ask, how did you feel after standing in line for 10 hours to see episode 1 and then seeing Jar Jar Binks?
I did not care about Jar Jar Binks because Darth Maul was that awesome. It was 5th grade, Jesse. Yeah, I loved it.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Right.
And plus, Mike was like 7. So.
It was 5th grade, Chad. 5th grade. Come on now.
Good, right on.
Not that
I was a very jaded 20-something. So
yeah.
I was very upset with that movie.
Bro, Jar Jar Binks was awesome.
I loved it.
Awesome.
I loved all of it.
Yeah, right. I was like 7 or 8 when it came out. He was awesome.
God.
Yeah, we didn't care about it.
He was designed for the 7 and 8-year-olds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It was perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was a really jaded Gen Xer at that point.
He was the first Grogu. So it was Jar Jar.
Grogu.
I don't know, because I was like 30 when Mandalorian came out, and Grogu's awesome still. So.
Oh, we're saying Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
We are a Dynasty podcast, I swear, guys. We do talk about football sometimes.
Okay. Well, I got the first question.
Baby Yoda is just such a just like complete marketing.
Oh, we're gonna keep going with this.
No,
yeah, we're going. Yeah, I have the first question. I'm gonna intervene. When I joined, Jesse had a question for me, and it involves 2 people in this podcast. So I want to discuss what y'all's thought process were on this trade offer. It ended up not working because Jesse went a different route, but it feels like a very interesting offer. So 12-team, super flex, 0.5 premium, I believe. Nothing crazy.
0.75 actually. But.
Okay, 0.75 premium. Chad offered Brian Thomas and the 106 for Justin Jefferson. I want to start with Chad because I haven't heard your side yet. What was your thoughts on that offer?
Chad offered Justin Jefferson. He would be getting Brian Thomas.
Correct.
Yeah, I just needed depth on my team, so it was just roster dependent. I mean, in a vacuum, I'd probably want Jefferson, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it's just a depth issue. My roster, the bench is horrendous. So,
gotcha.
It's the only reason I didn't take it because my bench is pretty bad too.
Yeah,
and I was depending on that 106 kind of.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. He asked me, and I struggled for like 5 minutes on what I would do. I like 21 questioned him his roster. I thought that was a really good offer.
Yeah, Mike, aren't you glad you joined this league? The offers are flying around. I mean,
I am. Yeah, I got the 104, and I'm getting offers to move up and move out, and it's been fun. But
yeah, it's a fun league.
I personally like Brian Thomas as a pick.
Okay.
Just because having a top 7 pick that, be Henderson or someone like that too. But obviously a lot more risk on that side. But I don't know. I love Brian Thomas.
So I was the 110 this year. I don't have that pick. I traded away. But I ended up trading that 106 and my 26 first for 101.
Yeah, that's a smash for me. He was trying to talk to me about other stuff, and I was like, dude, you just got to take that. Like,
yeah, compared to what he offered you, Mike, what did he offer you?
Yeah, he offered me the 101 and the 201 for Ladd and the 104, and I was like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Ladd is just God.
It's kind of why I took the team, because it's the only share I have of Vlad.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so it'd have been
so
even more expensive to get him from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Not as
So
expensive as I've seen sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough.
our boy Dallas Hyder is in chat, and he's got a question about his roster. So, Austin, do you want to go over that a little bit for us?
Yeah, it is a 12-team Superflex, 0.5 tight end premium. He said last year he kind of did Russian roulette on the QB2, and he was not lying. His QBs are Lamar, and then Russell Wilson, Mason Rudolph, Josh Dobbs, and Kirk Cousins. So that I'm not going to name every player on the position, but I just wanted to give the QB depth that he has. He's got at running back, he has Derrick Henry and Pollard, and then like Javante. That's kind of really it at running back. At receiver, he's looking at Cortland Sutton, Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, and that's Tyler Lockett. That's about Mooney. Again, that's about it. And tight end's pretty with Hawkinson and McBride. So his question was, at 110, does he have to take Dart, or should he go a different route? You know, maybe Harvey falls or one of the tight ends, or what does he do here? Because he kind of he said he felt like he's kind of in a pickle and just has to take Dart there.
I don't think he has to take Dart. If it goes the way he's also got Dalton Kincaid. If it goes the way most drafts go, and it's Caleb Johnson or RJ Harvey there, I think that's fine. His running backs are Pollard and Derrick Henry and Mixon. So
he's got Mixon. That I might have missed that. I don't even think he has Mixon.
Oh, maybe not.
I think it's just Pollard, Henry, Javante, and Chubb.
Okay, so that's just as old and
yeah,
playing the shuffle. And I just think first of all, if you take Dart, you realistically are not getting anything out of him this year.
Well, having Russ helps that counteract as well.
Okay.
So he should have the quarterback room of the Giants, unless Jameis all of a sudden isn't Jameis. So he should have the QB room in New York. So I mean, it would secure the QB2, a little bit less of a roulette feeling, I would assume.
Does he have 210?
I believe so. He didn't tell me his other picks, but I thought that's what he said. But he is in the chat, so we can wait a second.
Yeah, Dallas, let us know if you do have 210. My idea is that I'd rather have one of the running backs and then take a chance on Shuck or Shador. And he does have 210.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea either.
Just because I don't think Dart is such a slam dunk. It's a very iffy 50-50, and I think one of the running backs with my first round pick has a much better chance of hitting. Now, if Dart hits, it's much more valuable because it's a quarterback in Superflex.
Yeah, absolutely. Our resident Giant, speak for us. What are we doing here?
I would go with Dart pretty simply. I mean, he has Russ on the roster. Dart's gonna fall into his lap there. I would just take him. He's a quarterback. He went in the first round. He has the rushing upside. The coach is absolutely in love with him. So the worst case scenario, the only scenario in which I can see, maybe some issues with Dart is if the Giants finish with 3-win season or something like that, and the coaching staff gets fired. I don't think that's likely to happen, to be honest with you. So I would just go with the quarterback. He needs one.
Okay.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm kind of with Jesse. Honestly, I'd go like RJ Harvey, unless like worst case scenarios, they pass on all the tight ends, and if the tight ends fall, then I'd go Dart, and the RBs are being pushed up. But I think I'd go an RB there.
If one of the tight ends fell, I'd desperately try to trade down a spot or two.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and
too.
he did mention he was trying to trade, right? Or was that?
Well, we had brought up quarterbacks, and he kind of said that the only person that really has one to spare is has Geno, minus one guy he said in the startup drafted a lot of starters and he just doesn't want to give him more ammunition. So, he kind of said Geno is really the only option currently, and, that's not worth the 110. So,
No, I wouldn't pay
You just got to go. Yeah, you got to go with the quarterback. I mean, it's quarterback position in Superflex. You got to go with the quarterback.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. I mean, if he's going to tear up his roster trying to fix the quarterback situation if he doesn't get one this year.
Well, he's going to have to do that anyway if it doesn't work. That roster's about to fall apart to begin with. So
yeah,
taking Dart is probably the right solution, because even if he doesn't hit this year, at least you have a piece for next year. Because that's a really old roster. It's on its final legs.
Yeah. It's a tough situation to be in when you're going in when you're potentially going to have to go into a rebuild and you don't have the quarterback situation figured out, or at least have the chance of having the quarterback situation figured out, because that's such a big part of a rebuild, having to go in and spend so much so many assets, or allocate so much of your value into that quarterback position kicking off a rebuild. It's a tough way to start it.
Yeah, that's so true. But it's so important to have that position answered when you're starting the rebuild.
Yeah,
because if not, it's so hard to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you're talking about a rebuild, then yeah.
I mean, absolutely. Look at the roster.
He's gonna go into a rebuild if he doesn't win this year.
Yeah, I mean, even if he does, realistically, there isn't, minus Lamar. There really isn't a piece that I feel good about in 3 years, and Lamar could even be a question mark with his legs. There isn't. I guess Hawkinson. Well, McBride is the one piece you feel good about for 3 years, but. I mean,
the other part of it too is just insulating yourself with the quarterback position and knowing that, hey, even if Dart doesn't start this year or starts 3-4 games at the end of the season, the value he's gonna maintain is far more than if RJ Harvey struggles or the tight ends don't start off well.
Do you think this roster has a legit chance to compete for a title this year?
Yeah. I mean, I think it can this year.
Well, then you're shortchanging your chances by taking a player in the first round that's not going to play for you.
I mean, but you don't want to risk your entire rebuild on hoping a rookie can help you win a championship. If that's the case, then trade the pick and go get a player that has proven production.
Well, that might be the best idea. I don't know if that's available, but I mean, you have to weigh, and also just taking a running back doesn't risk your entire rebuild. You can still trade that player. Caleb Johnson has a great year. He's going to have plenty of value that you can trade in the offseason to kickstart your rebuild.
So yeah, but the thing is, if a running back struggles year one, their value is cut in half. That's just the way it is, because people want production from running backs year one, right? If a quarterback struggles, he's insulated. If a wide receiver struggles and he's a highly thought of prospect, then they're given a little bit more leeway too. But running backs are just they've got to perform. So if he doesn't, if he selects a player, and you guys know how much I like Caleb Johnson, but if he selects Caleb Johnson and Caleb Johnson's splitting time with Jaylen Warren this year, then it's not going to be a good look. It's
probably going to happen. I mean, people who draft him should be prepared for that to happen.
Yeah, but
I hear what you're saying. For the value loss, though, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I think you can't just say I have an old roster, so I need to win. Let me double down on my draft pick. You shouldn't be banking on a draft pick saving your championship season. Either you're a contender or you're not. All right, don't bank on hitting the league winner in the first round and the back end of the first round and saying, okay, this guy's going to drive me to a championship, because then you're setting yourself up for failure. So that's the way I see it. Be realistic with your roster. If you're a winner, you're a winner. If you're not a winner, don't depend on the rookie you're picking at 110.
I'll be honest, either way, Dart or a running back in the first, I still think I'm taking Shuck or Shador with 210.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't think Shuck will be there. I saw him go early second quite a bit after
Carr retired.
Yeah.
After Carr retired. Okay.
Yeah.
I did a lot of my
taking
drafts.
Shador at the 210.
Yeah, I would double
Really?
down at the quarterback too. I would take Jackson Dart and then come back around if Shador is there and take Shador too.
I think it's a great plan, actually.
Because that really helps jump the rebuild if that is what has to happen.
Yeah.
If Shador does start and Dart starting by the end of the season, you've instantly gained 2 rookie quarterbacks without having to spend any extra capital.
Here's an idea I've been thinking of with the Browns, and the thought that Aaron Rodgers might actually retire and not play for the Steelers. Do you think the Browns would trade one of those guys to the Steelers?
No, I think Kirk Cousins would be who moved
Cousins, okay.
If A-Rod retires.
It's in division, so I really just don't see those teams making a deal with each other.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Giants, Jameis Winston's another one I'd watch out for too.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Because I'm sure they got Jameis for the safety blanket that they couldn't draft a quarterback.
Yeah.
And they signed him before Russ.
Yeah, they didn't even know because they tried for a few different quarterbacks with Stafford and guys like that and couldn't get them. But they didn't know what was going to happen, and so they just tried to do everything they could to get a quarterback situation figured out, kind of like what Dallas might have to do if he doesn't pick Dart. But yeah, so I think it could be. It's definitely going to be Dart as one of the quarterbacks there. I mean, obviously, and then I think it's going to be Jameis probably getting moved on during this offseason. They've already got Dart taking snaps with the first team.
Is Jameis on a multi-year deal? No, it's just one, right?
Yeah.
I think it was a low deal too. It was like maybe $4 million.
Yeah. Well, Dallas, we helped you a lot. We were 2-2 in this, so figure it out yourself, buddy.
All right. So we also have our buddy Daz, Darren Fitzpatrick. He's got a roster that he wants some help with. I guess he wants to know whether to tear it down or not. Is that the first?
Yeah. Question? So he won 2 years previous. This past year, he lost by 0.4 points in the semis to the guy who ended up winning. So he was going for the three-peat, didn't quite make it. Kind of says he feels like, he's going to have to tear this down. It's 12 team. It's actually 0.5 PPR. So a little off the wall for us, but it does have 0.5 rushing and receiving first downs. So I say we just treat it as PPR. That way we're not confusing us and the audience. But I don't see any tight end premium. So just no premium, but it's a pretty decent roster. You can see why he's won some games. The notable names at quarterback are Trevor Lawrence, Sam Darnold, Russell Wilson, running back Saquon, Kamara, James Conner. I think there's one more. Aaron Jones. And then receiver, he's got Thielen, he's got Lockett, he has CeeDee Lamb, DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley. Oh, he also has Joe Mixon. I knew I missed Mixon somewhere. And then tight end is Kelsey, and he has Schultz, so he does have a backup. But he has his picks. He does have an extra second next year. So, let's assume that he starts off slow. What pieces, is it just the obvious names that he should be moving? The Saquon, the old guys, or, are we trying to go a little bit further with this, considering it is a lot of old pieces? Outside of CeeDee Lamb and I guess T-Law, there really isn't a young piece on the roster that has any kind of real fantasy value.
Well, I think we should start with Lamb.
Okay. So you would start the rebuild with Lamb?
Yeah, I would start the rebuild with whoever people had interest in.
Sure.
But yeah, I would. I think Lamb would be the centerpiece of my rebuild. I would hold out for as much as I could get for him, which would be Mike. If you were trading CeeDee Lamb, what would you want for him?
He's probably eating pizza. He's probably eating pizza.
How about you, Chad?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I would start off with Lamb, and that's just because that's the one piece that I see where I'm like, it's probably a piece you're going to get full value for right now if you move him. The rest of them you're going to want to wait in season. But Lamb, I'd probably be shopping around right now and seeing what people think of him, and just be open to a mix of picks and players, future picks. It's a good time to buy future picks. But about to go into the season, and Lamb's a guy people are going to get excited about. So if you can get fair value for him, I think that's nice, knowing that Dak has had some injury issues. Also, who knows what that quarterback situation is going to look like past this year. They've got Pickens in there. Who knows how that's going to change the dynamics of the offense. Maybe it is a smart move to start shopping him around before the season kicks off.
So, everybody always likes this coming year's first, but I kind of feel like with this roster, I would target 27 first. One, the sharp people in Dynasty know that that's supposed to be an extremely strong class, but a lot of people don't, that they'd rather pay the first 2 years from now than the first now. And yes, you have to wait on your return, but with this kind of roster, that may not be the worst thing in the world. I was trying to think of a name that I would feel good down tiering from Lamb and acquiring a 27 first.
I was thinking
And
10.
Yeah, you probably even get a little bit more on top of that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 10, 27 first plus.
Yeah, that might not be a bad name to go. Obviously, the production question mark there, because right now he is in a win now mode. Like, I know he's talking about wanting to sell off, but it's still a pretty solid roster.
I
So
think the ideal thing to do is what Chad was trying to do, and you could go tear down to Brian Thomas.
yeah,
That too, I think.
I like Brian Thomas over Tet or Travis Hunter because he's got a year of elite production, in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Lad, try to get Lad plus maybe for Lamb.
Yeah,
I mean plus.
Might have similar.
Lad's not a real target for me right now because you're paying so much. I guess my belief in Lad is nowhere near my belief in Brian Thomas as far as value goes.
That's fair.
I think it's going to be really tough to tear down from Lamb and get a Brian Thomas. I think people are going to say, "What do you want?
Yeah.
What's your tear down? A second?"
Yeah, that's kind of where I was scared that's all you're going to be able to get. Keep Trade Cut has Lamb and Thomas back to back.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to do it with Jefferson. I think that's a different beast.
It is. You're right. It is. Yeah. I mean, Jefferson's wide receiver 1 for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you maybe do Nico?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Nico would be an interesting one.
Or Harrison.
I see even Harrison. I think you're going to struggle with just because
Really?
the people that have him, at least from what I've seen, are not really antsy to get rid of him. They
spent 101 on him.
Yeah, they want to see what he's kind of done, and I mean, he just got picked in rookie drafts. Maybe in a startup or something, somebody that if they fell to him, maybe that's somebody you can probably pull from them. But knowing that somebody took him with a 101, the year before, the year prior, a lot of people are really having a tough time letting go of him, and I think that's kind of smart. So
maybe London, JSN.
On the other hand, though, if you spend a high pick on Marvin Harrison and you're spooked after that year, and you can upgrade to Lamb, and have something
by just paying the first 2 years from now, that's kind of another selling point for me, is because I think he can still contend this year. Like, looking at his roster, if he doesn't tear it down quick, I think it's good enough to definitely make the playoffs. And then it's week to week. We've watched that a million times, so.
Yeah, but then at the end of the year, he's stuck with all those old running backs.
Well, but that's kind of what you're doing. That's why I say acquiring the 27 capital may be smarter, because you're not going to have to down tier as heavy. In most situations, most people are going to view a first next year more expensive than a first 2 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be able to get a better player in at least somewhat similar production.
The guy I would go after if I were him is Garrett Wilson.
I like that too.
That's a good one too. I like that.
That's the guy I'd go over just because the people that have had him, although he did have, pretty good production last year. I think he finished wide receiver 10, 11, something like that. But people are scared of him with the quarterback situation there and the dysfunction of the Jets. So I would take the risk on him there. Try to tear down, get that first if you can, that future first, and then hope you can get similar production, because there are some question marks with Lamb as well. So I don't think it's you're putting yourself in too bad a position if you're still trying to compete for this year.
So the person that has Garrett Wilson also has Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, and JSN. So they may be okay coming down, going up from Garrett Wilson to try to get that, having JJ, St. Brown, and Lamb is an insane trio in your start 3 wide receiver league.
Yeah. And from my experience, the people that have those kind of rosters, they're hunting for the big name. They're hunting for the guy that's top of the ranking. So if you can get him to take Lamb from you, then he's likely to try to give up a little bit more to solidify just the beauty of the roster, of the starting lineup, essentially.
Yeah.
And those guys are cool getting rid of their 27 pick, I think, too.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
They want the championship this season.
Yeah, in their mind, they're giving away 112, so who cares?
Yep. Yeah, 2 years from now, who cares, bro? Give me that. Let me have Lamb.
Yeah. When on teams where I have rosters like that, I absolutely am only hunting big names. I don't care about DJ Moore.
Yeah,
he won't.
That's so true. That's absolutely the truth. That's a good point. Any other names that you're antsy to get away? I mean,
speaking
like
of DJ Moore.
Okay, that's one.
Yeah, that's one I think you can trade now and get a good, because you still have the Ben Johnson glow, and then you have a draft that just happened. If his rookie draft has already happened, and you didn't have a lot of big name wide receivers in that draft, and there could be teams that are, still pretty hungry, that aren't counting on Jaden Higgins to come in, year one and be a starter for them. They might want him, TJ Moore.
So using, market keep trade cut as an idea, the names around him are Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, Matthew Golden, and then DJ Moore, George Pickens, Luther Burden, Ricky Pearsall. So, I mean, he's down there. Like that's basically an early second.
First, it's a borderline obscene that Luther Burden name is with those guys at all.
Yeah, well, that's how market views him.
God.
I mean, he's the 203 in a lot of drafts.
That's just disgusting. Yeah, I saw him go in the first round.
Yeah, so, at that point, are you selling that? I mean, he just turned 28. I feel like other than Waddle for me, and that's just because I've become a truther apparently.
I was gonna say Waddle,
I would probably prefer DJ Moore over all those names.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm trying to down tier. I think I'm just trying to trade him for picks.
Okay. So you're just wanting to get a future first?
And a second.
So I think, again, if you're trying to contend somewhat, I guess you would try to aim for a cheap vet and then a future first.
Okay. If I think it's a vet that I can flip in season, but I guess maybe you and I disagree. You're sort of.
Well, I think his roster is good enough to win. That's kind of why I'm saying that.
Gotcha.
I mean, Saquon, Kamara, Mixon, and Connor.
I think his window for a rebuild to sell off those guys is very short. And
that's definitely true.
As soon as any of them get hurt, if Kamara gets hurt, he's worthless.
Yeah.
He may be able to work himself up to I don't know if you'll ever get a first for him again, but a couple seconds, a player you like, and a second in season, if he's having a good year, I'm willing to take that chance now, and hold him until in season. But I'm not willing to wait and try to trade him next season. Because what are you going to do? Trade him in the offseason, next offseason? You got pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying is true. It just I don't like selling out of a championship window, and I feel like this team, though the window is very small, is still there currently.
Mike, you're
Yeah.
the resident. Go for it, guy.
I got an idea. So you guys know, and feel free to say you're crazy, but like I really like Devontae Adams, obviously, right? So I'd like to see if you could get like Devontae Adams in a 27 first for like DJ Moore in his 26 like second or something like that.
Yeah,
We
he
can
does
make
have an
that
extra
happen.
second too.
So that would be a move I might be looking to make because it could still be the same production window, but get that second to a first, especially if it's someone else's, in case things go south.
I think Devonta Smith is worth more than DJ Moore.
No, Devontae Adams.
Oh, Devontae Adams. Oh,
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, nope, never mind."
I mean, it feels like selling. Like in the end, if you don't win, you just sold low on DJ Moore because all you did was trade up from the second to the first.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, are we really selling that low? I mean, the very next thing in keep trade cut after DJ Moore is a late 27 first.
Yeah, I mean,
now they're always high on picks, so take that for a grain of salt. They're kind of unreasonable on pick value, but that's kind of where he's at.
I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, I think a late first sounds right for DJ Moore at this point.
You don't think I'm getting a second as well?
No, I don't think so. Unless we get in season and people see the production.
Yeah,
that's different. Then you're probably getting a first and second if he's a wide receiver one. If he's partially through the season, if they're saying, hey, it's DJ Moore week after week after week, with the way that offense looks as far as the talent that's on it, then I think people are going to say, okay, like we can treat this guy like DJ Moore. But until we get in season, I mean, it's a new year. There's new faces. There's a new offense. It's a whole different ball game right now. I think people are kind of wanting to see the dust settle before they make any big moves on anybody in that offense.
If that's the case, if I'm only getting a late first for him now, I'm gonna hold him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
He's not the top priority for me in trying to get rid of a guy. I think the vast majority of the players on the team that I'm going to be trying to get rid of are guys I'm going to be trying to get rid of in season anyways. Outside of Lamb, there's really, unless he wants to trade Trevor Lawrence, but then again, that's blowing everything up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Lamb's probably the only guy where I'm like, okay, I can probably tear down from this guy and get something out of it. Even a guy like Saquon, just because the production could be so high with him, trading him away just kills any chance of championship you have with him. So if you get in a season and you see, hey, like things are kind of looking a little scary, then maybe start thinking about trading him away. But I think you trade him away, you're trading away your chances at a run this year on the roster at this point. So if that's the case, and I'm not saying that's the wrong answer, right? Like if you want to start a rebuild now, then maybe that is a good place to start is with Saquon. But the way I see it, he's kind of the glue holding everything together at this point.
Yeah. Saquon and Lamb are definitely the two pieces that are holding your championship hopes alive right now.
Yeah, but I mean, Saquon's the only. I think Lamb, obviously he's capable of high end production, but Saquon's the one guy that's capable of like, I'm gonna win you weeks by myself, like, multiple times in a season. I mean, what he did last year, if he's able to replicate anything like that, then for me, there's not really a tear down that's ever gonna make sense there. Whereas Lamb, you can tear down and still get similar production more than likely. You're just not going to have CeeDee Lamb.
Saquon is.
I was going to say, if it falls apart, I feel like a Saquon tear down to like a rookie that's struggling.
Yep, that's exactly what I was waiting to say.
First is something I would try to do, especially in season, especially once I'm like out of it or, and something happens, I don't know, Lamb goes down or who knows. But
Yeah.
but when you know it's time to
Yeah. If Travion or
kickstart it.
Judkins aren't having a hot start,
Yep.
just try to fish Saquon if he's doing what Saquon does and see if you can get one of them plus a first.
Yeah, Saquon's a tough sell right now.
He is, absolutely.
He lasted well past a good amount of the rookies in our startup that we just did, right?
No, he went 3-2.
All right, so Genty,
3-3.
Hampton.
It was Genty and Hampton. That was the only running backs.
All right, so he went well past both of those guys. It was a round, right? Oh no, because the third round.
Hampton was 212, so I mean, there's 2 picks. But
Okay.
either way, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like he's a really hard sell and buy, to be honest, because the people that have him want that running back one production.
Yeah, they're all
tag.
like, it's Saquon Barkley, and I'm like, wow, man, that guy's old
he had
as hell.
400 touches. 28
exactly.
years old. Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm not paying to bet that that's going to happen again.
Damn, that makes me feel good because I took Hampton in our startup at 312.
Was it 312?
Yeah, I took Hampton.
Okay, then he went before. Okay.
Did he?
So Saquon went before him then.
Okay. So it was just Genty? Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you guys must be talking about a different league because. Yeah, I took him at 312.
I'm not going out and buying Saquon this offseason.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, he's got Saquon on his roster, so it's a tough decision to make though if you're thinking about selling him.
I mean, I'd buy him for what Mike bought him for. What was that? A couple bags of chips and a 28 first.
Yeah.
Well, it was like my whole 2028 draft plus some chips. Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't even good chips. I think the bag had been open for a couple weeks.
His whole 28 draft, but what he means is his whole 28 draft is just his picks. So first, second, third, and fourth.
Yeah. Right.
I'd pay that for Saquon.
Yeah. Anybody would pay that for Saquon.
Mike, didn't you have a roster to go over, or am I wrong?
You're wrong.
I typically am. It's okay.
Well, did we actually help Aaron?
I
don't know.
Yeah.
I think the Lamb idea is probably a good one. So
yeah,
I mean, with any of
I think do the Lamb thing if you can. Get in season. If it's going well, ride it out. If shit starts to go south, sell off those old guys before it's too late.
Yeah, I would say the best piece of advice is sell the pieces that make sense selling right now, right? Like if somebody makes you an offer that makes sense, take it, right? But if you're going into season and you have these older players, you're just going to have to reevaluate every step of the way and say, okay, when is this just not making sense anymore? When do I need to completely tear this thing down? If that time does come, right? Just do what makes sense in your league. There's not any way we don't have any crystal ball and we can say, okay, these guys are all going to perform badly or worse than what everybody's thinking, consensus is thinking they're going to do. You're just going to have to every step of the way figure out what makes sense for you and just keep reevaluating, time after time. Keep your ears close to the ground with your league mates. Keep sending out offers and keep the wheels turning on it, because if you ignore this team, come the end of the season, you're going to be in for a rude awakening when that rebuild starts.
Rebuild could take 3-4 years if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just I'm sorry. I had one last piece of advice and I lost it. So, Mike, anything else from you? Nothing from Mike either.
I'm trying to not come off mic too much with all the talking around me. So.
Oh well, you're part of the podcast.
Just when it's important. Just when it's important. I don't want it to sound.
You're all
like telling me I'm wrong. Is that the perfect time?
No, I mean we were.
You couldn't have shook at that part.
We were agreeing on the tear down part, so we didn't.
You did. You took that right from me. It'd been on the tip of my tongue for like 5 minutes, and you just nailed it right there. So I appreciate that.
That's why we never get trades done, because
that is true. That is true.
But yeah, anyway, Darren, I do think though that as soon as you're eliminated or feel as though you're about to be eliminated, just trade those guys off.
Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much move the whole roster minus T-Law and not feel bad about doing it for the sake of a rebuild.
Yeah. Keep in mind there are some really good quarterbacks coming out next year as well. So,
Are there?
I mean, Sellers.
Sellers is so interesting. I'm glad you started with him.
Sellers, Nussmeier, maybe Manning, maybe Nico, maybe Dante Moore. There's a lot of interesting names. I've only
that is
scratched the
true.
surface.
I don't think Manning's going to come out. I think
I don't
Yeah,
either. It really would make a lot of sense.
Well, I had a guy in our chat actually ask us to do one, so I just sent it over to everybody in the chat.
Okay.
I'll quickly go over it while y'all are looking. It's 1 point tight end premium, 12-team Superflex. He's got Kyler, Baker, and Stafford at quarterback. He has McCaffrey, Kenneth Walker, Caleb Johnson, Pacheco, Swift at running back, Amon-Ra, Tyreek, Ladd, Devontae Adams, Diggs and Hollywood at receiver, Cade Otton, Mark Andrews, and Brock Bowers at tight end. Sounds like to me he just wanted to flex that he has a contending roster.
Yeah, go win the ship.
I
Good
don't
luck to
really
you.
understand what the point of like any of that was. Yeah, first time I read over it, so I mean, I don't really have any. Just
Go
like
win the
go
ship, man.
play week
Go win the
one.
ship.
Like
He's got 3 or 4 older pieces, so I guess maybe he wants to know should he. But you're not able to tear down from Tyreek to anything that's going to help you.
There's
Same thing with
always
CMC.
moves to be made with a roster, right? So I mean, we're joking around saying that, yeah, I mean, you're kind of in the position now where it's probably not any moves to be made. You just kind of need to see where stuff starts at the beginning of the year, because I mean the roster's pretty fleshed out. But yeah, I mean there are some guys to keep an eye on, right, going into the year. What's going to go on with Kenneth Walker? There's going to be, if you're worried about injuries with him, Christian McCaffrey, another guy, Tyreek Hill with the question marks going on with him. Devontae Adams is pretty old. So you've just got some guys that are just getting towards that, time period where you're going to have to start worrying a little bit more with these guys, even though they've been elite players for you. So yeah, maybe you just start looking around your league and say, okay, if there's any dips in form in some of these younger players that I like, if there's any, kind of opportunities out there, just take those and don't feel pressured to make any moves, because this is a roster that you can go and win games with how it is.
So he asked, are we scared of CMC? Before anyone answers that, it doesn't matter, because you're pot committed to CMC right now. With this roster,
no one's going to trade for him either. So.
Yeah, you can't trade. You can't trade him for what you would need to get for him to trade him. So you would have to wait for him to be good again, and then people remember it's. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, and at that point, you don't trade him because the rest of this roster should be good enough to use Christian McCaffrey. So
well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like if you are concerned about Christian McCaffrey, right? And we're 3-4 weeks into the season and he's doing Christian McCaffrey things and looking great, then you can say, okay, I don't feel good about his long-term outlook. I want to move him now. Maybe I can get a player that's really productive and maybe has a little bit more longevity in season, have to pay up a little bit extra for him. And that's fine. You just have to, look at your league and say, are these opportunities out here to move guys like that? And ask the questions, because maybe the answer is yes.
That's hard though, like in season 2, especially if if he's doing well, because then he's more than likely a contending team trading to another contender.
Well, yeah, you need to get another productive player back, right? Like it's not just saying, okay, I'm going to trade back Christian McCaffrey and go get, Caleb Johnson splitting time with Jaylen Warren, right? Since that's something we threw out there. Right, it's saying I'm gonna go pay up a little bit more on top of Christian McCaffrey, get a player that's also producing, but maybe I like the outlook on a longer on a longer time frame. And that's just
change.
if he feels that way, right? That's a personal thing. So we can say, okay, each one of us individually may feel differently about Christian McCaffrey, but it's you, right? How do you feel about Christian McCaffrey? Don't after 4 weeks change your mind because he's doing Christian McCaffrey things in 4 weeks. We know he's talented. That's not just going to go away. So you just have to know, hey, I need to start asking questions once the talent of Christian McCaffrey shows, because that's the only time you're going to get fair value for him.
That's really well said. Yeah, can't even add nothing else to that. That's really well.
I personally am probably holding him at that point, but if I can add a reasonable piece, not a first, to him and get to like A-Chain or something, I like that.
Yeah, I think you're shooting too high to not add a first too, but
okay. John Taylor. John.
That's kind of the piece I was thinking.
Yeah.
Trying to throw your second on top of CMC and get Taylor.
Yeah. Or just a veteran, maybe on your in your flex, or just a veteran that's producing that might have a spike in value.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, they're kind of just, for me, it's just ride that roster. And, if the vets don't work, then sure, you can move some of them. But otherwise, you're just going to kind of use those vets and touch him with the young pieces that he does have, like Bowers and Ladd, and, try to win a ship.
Yeah, I feel like he's got a good mix of some really young guys and really old guys to compete. And then if it doesn't work out, then double up some of the older guys to go down to younger producing guys if you're not in it. And then,
and he's got enough.
Very fluid every week.
He's got enough on his bench that he doesn't have to, not all of those guys have to produce for him.
Yeah.
So if one or two of those old vets turn to dust in season for him, he's got enough depth that he should be okay.
Yeah, I like the bench. I like the bench. I think, guys like Hopkins are solid, weak fillers when you need them.
Pacheco, Swift.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs, I think, is going to be a potential, a guy that you're really, really going to look back on this offseason and say, oh, crap, how did I get him so cheap for the production he's given me?
The reports are really good.
Yeah.
He's Stephon Diggs.
I mean, as far as his progress in the rehab.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna, whether it's week 1 or not. I mean, I think he's gonna come in season and produce. So I really like having a cheap option like that. Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Swift. These are all guys that are not, the favorites, the darlings of the Dynasty community, but they're great guys to have on your bench. So I think you're looking pretty nice going in season.
Cool.
All right. So since we talked about Lamb so much, I have an offer in my box. I want to throw out there. So Lamb and a 27 first, or Hurts and Juwan Jennings.
Lamb and a first. Oof. I mean, assuming Superflex, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Hurts.
I'd take Hurts too.
Yeah.
He's been trying so hard all day to get Hurts.
He's not trying that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your QB?
Who are your other QBs?
I have Tua. Of course. Tua. This is the same league. You guys are in this league. Tua, Penix, and Fields. You're not.
Oh no, I'm definitely not moving off Hurts with that QB.
I wouldn't move Hurts either for that. It's interesting, but yeah.
What does it take to trade Hurts? He was trying to get Hurts and McBride at the same time. It's like, dude, I understand you're sending me 4 firsts, but you don't understand that that's still very light.
Yeah, I mean, it probably had to be Lamb and one of his starting quarterbacks.
Yeah, he doesn't really.
I don't know what he has, but.
Well, actually, I think his entire roster is quarterbacks. It's a really weird roster. But
why the heck does he want another one?
I think he's got Trevor. So
no, that's too much, but
Trevor and Lamb is too much.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, I would move Hurts for that, but that's too much to offer.
That's kind of what it would take for me.
That's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. That would not get it done.
No, he doesn't have any other starting quarterbacks.
And then we just don't make a deal right now. Hate it for him, but that's how it works.
Yep, right on. So there's a really good documentary on Netflix it's Osama. I think it's called Osama bin Laden, and it starts with the 9/11 attacks.
Is it Tyrese Halliburton?
Oh my god!
I know y'all seen that.
No, it'd be nice to chat. I was not going to bring up basketball.
I mean, we won.
Oh, you won tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
nice. Good.
Nice. Congrats.
It ain't over.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's 3-2.
Anyway.
It's 3-2.
Yeah.
It's still a series.
All right, so tell me about this.
Yeah, so it starts with the 9/11 attacks, and it follows. They talk to like CIA analysts that worked on hunting Osama bin Laden, and it's really good. It goes through the whole hunt for him and how they missed him at one point, and then how they finally got him when Obama was in office. But it's a really, really good documentary. It's a few parts, but I highly recommend. Definitely made me feel patriotic.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then there's also one on Pee Wee Herman. I don't think this is going to hit for you guys, though. I don't think that's your generation at all.
Nope. I watched some of it growing up, but I never liked it. It was sounding creepy.
I think you have to be Gen X to understand it.
Look, we're going to need to discuss you saying you're Gen X. How old are you?
Oh, I'm firmly in the middle of Gen X. I'm 50.
I don't think so, buddy.
Dude, stop. No, I really am. I really am. I'm an 80s kid. I'm an MTV generation. You just.
What years are Gen X?
It's 65 to 80.
What year were you born?
74.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you I'm like firmly in the middle.
You are. Fair enough.
I'm the Gen X. Anything you guys have seen?
Season
I listened
finale
to
of
Mike.
The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I listened to Mike and watched season 2 of Andor. I have 2 episodes that we're finishing tonight. We actually went back and watched all of season 1 because I'd been so long I forgot what it was about. So we've caught up all in this week. We've watched season 1 and all but the last 2 episodes, and it is really good.
It is good. See, good.
Oh my
I'm glad
gosh,
you're with
it's
me,
so
Austin.
good.
Thank you. It's so different though for Star Wars, right? Like it's such a different.
It's just a really good show. Like it's really cool, especially watching so much of the other Star Wars stuff, like the little tidbits and nuggets that connect to other movies and shows. It's really cool. Like I don't know, I really super enjoyed it.
As soon as you finish the last 2 episodes, you're just gonna want to watch Rogue One right away.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll probably stay up till 5 o'clock tonight watching it. So here we are. Tomorrow's gonna suck.
Rogue One was.
Go to the GameStop and do that, Austin. Come on.
I'm not that dedicated, man. I just can't do it. Chad, anything good?
Nothing, man. Been reading a book, so.
What are you reading?
Nerd.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's bold.
A finance book, so.
Never mind. We can cut the pod. I'm terrible at finances anyway, so.
Mike, anything for you besides Last of Us?
No, I did start watching. I saw a preview for it scrolling on Facebook. It's I Love You, Man.
Oh yeah, great movie.
Yeah, it's really funny. Paul Rudd and the guy from How I Met Your Mother, and so I was like,
the guy from How I Met Your Mother.
I don't know what his name is.
Jason Segel.
I've been watching that show too. I'm really bad with
on the bottom of his resume.
What, he did like 9 seasons of it. Like,
it's true.
That's a really good show too.
He's done so many good things though. Jason Segel's awesome.
Yeah.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh yeah,
banger.
Such a good movie.
Full Frontal he did in that movie.
Yeah, he did.
I think he on I Love You, Man. Didn't he do? No, he didn't do Full Frontal on I Love You, Man.
What are you, an Irish leprechaun? Or no, a Jamaican leprechaun?
Yeah, slapping the bass.
My wife and I called each other Jobin for years. We still do sometimes.
Jobin.
The great movie. I watched 22 episodes of first season of Pokemon.
There you go.
Nerd.
So you're like
I will-
15 away now from be able to watch the movie? Something like that?
What is it, 58?
No, it was 69 is what chatted up sending over. Good number, by the way.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
damn. Yeah, that's like 20. I'm like 24.
Well, you're not good. There's going to be a couple you won't be able to watch because, long story, but Japan blocked a few of them.
Oh,
Yeah, so you'd have to find them on YouTube.
I can do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what happens. I have my ways.
There you go.
Anything else, guys?
That's it, my man.
All right, fun episode. I guess this has been the front office.
Later.
Peace.
See ya.